They have all these guys that have been around the league a long time. Rui Hachimura is exactly the type of player the Lakers should be investing in.
Well, I think it's interesting because you just had that Lakers deal that went down yesterday. That kind of, we'll see if it gets trade season going or not. But the Rui Hachimura deal, where basically Chris Dunn and some picks, second rounders, and they end up with Rui Hachimura. And I found it interesting. Jake Fisher talked about how this could kind of complicate some future plans that go on with the Lakers because of the money situation. That they may not have the amount of money that you would think in this offseason. Like if they're looking for free agency, talked about, there's a cap hold that's pretty significant on Hachimura.
Well, that's why they might be making the deal now. They might be making their free agent move in the next couple of weeks for Van Vliet or somebody else.
And that's just how they do it. And then, are you able to pay both? Do you think Hachimura is just not a rental, is he?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think they plan to re-sign Hachimura.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to call it a bidding war. They gave up none and 3 picks, but, I believe Mark Stein was the first to report that the Suns or another team that was in on Hachimura. I've heard the Pacers are another team. So there were multiple teams that wanted Hachimura from the Wizards. So, for the Lakers, they had to give up more than whatever they initially offered for Rui. And I would assume their intentions are to keep him long-term. Look, these are the type of players, they have all these guys that have been around the league a long time. Rui Hachimura is exactly the type of player the Lakers should be investing in. He's still young. He's shown flashes in an up-and-down situation with changing environment, system, personnel around him every year of his career so far. And granted, he has not worked out anywhere as much as the Wizards could have hoped for in 4 years. These type of young, upside guys who have shown something are what the Lakers should be targeting now, because maybe they do turn into something more consistent when they're surrounded by the best talent of their entire career. And for the Wizards side of things, he wanted out. Like the deal they got back isn't bad either. I mean, I
would
think
just be my only concern would be that that's all it takes to get this guy.
I know. It's
a ninth pick in the draft.
He had 30 points over the weekend.
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. But he's also had a career so far, right? So we could talk about one game, or we could talk about what's happened throughout his career
for sure. And he has not been good overall.
Yeah, and I'm always worried about when you have to isolate one thing. And that was kind of what happened with him, where it's like, oh, well, he shoots 41% on catch and shoot threes. It's like, okay. But you also got to play defense. You also got to play offense.
Chris, here's the thing with Rui, though, right? Like, he's played for some iffy teams, and he's shown flashes of being a versatile defender. And it just has not happened consistently at all for him with Washington. He's been kind of a loof off ball sometimes, which is an issue for him at Gonzaga as well. That might be something that is always a problem for Rui Hachimura. But now we also, assuming AD can come back and be healthy and be the top 10 player he was prior to his absence, if you have AD behind you, some of those flaws just don't matter as much. Just like on offense, the inconsistency as a creator, right, as a guy on ball, doesn't matter as much when you're playing next to LeBron James and maybe a Van Vliet, or at least if that happens, suddenly those weaknesses don't matter as much. And those positives, the fact that the one thing he did get better at since college was spot up shooting. That was the issue for him. He was 36%, this season, 40+% last year, 34% the year prior to that. So he's been up and down. Last year might be an outlier, but overall, the last 3 years, he's shooting 39% on catch and shoot threes. That's better than what the Lakers have had as an option spacing the floor. And he retains size, right? Like, he's not just a small guard to throw out there. He's big. Like, Rui Hachimura is 6'8", 230 pounds.
Well, the other thing to me, honestly, you didn't give up anything.
No, you gave up second-round picks. And
even if you didn't re-sign him in the offseason, it's like, all right, we gave up Kendrick Nunn and
I bet they re-sign him. I bet they do.
But
That's
even if they didn't, what I'm saying is
sure.
what you gave up, it's not some kind of – you're not going to rue the day that you gave up, Kendrick Nunn and some picks.
Yeah. those seconds could be pretty good. I mean, it was better than the picks the Suns offered. The Suns only offered their own, to my understanding, and the Pacers weren't, offering anything as good as either of them. So, Lakers. I mean, it's a good deal. It's a good deal for the Lakers, and it's unfortunate for the Wizards. They were in the position that they were, but Kyle Kuzma, he stole the role. Kyle Kuzma's been so good for the Wizards, and that limited Rui's opportunities. They kind of had to move off of him, or otherwise he was going to bounce himself.
Yeah. And so he now finds a new lease on life playing for the Lakers. And there are some buzz out there that Bogdanovich is still in their sights as a guy that they might want to attain. With you bringing up the Van Vliet thing and the Gary Trent thing, and then who knows what happens with Westbrook. The name has come up. You just brought it up with the Toronto thing. There's a San Antonio rumors that are out there about them talking about a possible Westbrook deal. I mean, the best utilization of that pick, it seems as if the Lakers very well may use that pick.
Doesn't it seem that way? All the stock.
And it's a choice of how do we want to use it? Do we want to team that up with a bigger package? Do we want to use that to try to attain, a Bogdanovich type of deal? Or do we want to do it in something bigger? But it does seem like they're loaded up and we'll try to get AD back, and they just grabbed Hachimura, and they're going to try to throw together the win now team, and they know that what they got right now is not good enough. And so that they are going to, there's just too much smoke right now. They're doing something. That roster is going to get turned over a little bit.
I mean, whether it's Bogdanovich or Van Vliet or whoever, if they have LeBron James, who has just been how is he doing this at his age? it's nuts. And if AD were to come back in February, and I mean, who knows if he can stay healthy? He's always an injury risk. But if he did, he did in the 2020 bubble, if you can surround those guys with a Van Vliet and a Trent and, Lonnie Walker and Austin Reeves, Pat Beverly, Dennis Schroeder, Thomas Bryant bringing energy off the bench, Rui Hachimura, that's a team that will be in title contention.